What's up, everybody? This is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioner's Clubhouse and the LCC Network for Week 9, Part 1. We've got a great episode for you. We've got playoff projections. And with me today, we've got Isaac back in the house, and we got Jameson like always. How's it going, y'all?
I'm back. It's okay. I got my new computer. Everything's running smooth, so hopefully this works.
Yeah, we've been on here for like an hour goofing off, and Isaac hasn't gone out once. So this is very, very good news for the LCC podcast moving forward.
I had to rebuild my computer because when I first brought it back, it kind of crashed. But we made it, and I fixed it, and we're all good.
All is good, guys. We're going into Week 9, right? We mentioned last week after Week 8, we were going to do playoff projections where teams currently stand, what they have to do moving forward, who might jump in, who might fall out. And that's what we've got on the first episode today. We're spending the next 20 minutes or so running through this for each conference. Real quickly, I see that someone here put some NFL trade deadline recap. There was really only one thing that happened. Like Isaac said earlier off the show, not a whole lot happened leading up to the deadline. But Kenyon Drake to the Cardinals. It looks like Chase Edmonds and DJ might be out for at least a week, maybe more. Is there any fantasy impact here for Kenyon Drake to the Cardinals?
I mean, I would look at him. I mean, I think it would be more fantasy impact than real life. Real life, it's just an extra body that you can have to run the ball. But I mean, fantasy, you saw how Chase Edmonds was productive, and I definitely think Kenyon Drake is more talented than Chase Edmonds. So I don't see why he could not duplicate that. Maybe not 3 touchdowns, but be at least fantasy serviceable.
Just keep in mind they play the Niners this week. Then they play Tampa's rush defense, and then they play the Niners again.
And then they play the Niners again.
So it's going to be it might be a tough few weeks if Kenyon Drake is the starter for those whole 3 weeks.
I'm thinking more pass catching, not necessarily like in between the tackles. In between the tackles, he's not going to get much, but Drake is a pass catching back. So
are you guys going to get him?
Right.
You got target him?
I don't really need a running back, honestly. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'll probably get Tevin Coleman.
Teams out there that do need him.
I'll probably get Tevin Coleman before I get Kenyon Drake.
I would absolutely get Tevin Coleman before Kenyon. Tevin Coleman looks like a madman right now.
How much you bet, like at least 4, maybe 5 people per conference put in for him in the waiver wire?
For Tevin Coleman?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would be shocked if it didn't.
I'm about to say I put mine in.
All right, guys. So just to jump in here, playoff projections. We'll start with the top shot as first seed. No surprise. It's easy here with the record. Colby, 7-1, 1 loss in 8 weeks. It's undisputable. In fact, he's got the best record in the league right now. Guys, are we surprised by this? I was looking back at our projections earlier today, and we actually said Colby was going to be a good team, but we expected a wild card performance, not a 7-1 league leading record.
I'm completely surprised, honestly. I don't see how his team got this far, honestly. It was mind-boggling with some of these other guys and how talented their teams are, I really think it's just been very lucky to get those certain matchups. Maybe just his schedule. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Here's what it is. He's only averaging 278 points per game. You compare that to guys like listen to me, I'm mixing everyone up. Charles, who's averaging 276.5, only 2 points less per game, who only has 4 wins. And then Matt is actually averaging more. Matt's averaging 282.1 points per game and is last place in his division. I think it's just circumstance, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And nothing against Colby, but I just don't think his team is putting up the numbers to sustain success if he makes it. I mean, it's hard to imagine him not making the playoffs with 7 wins already, but still, I don't know if he's going to be able to compete once he gets in there.
Yeah, I mean,
so just for comparison, a team like I'm just looking through some of them here now. A team like what are you gonna say, Isaac?
I was gonna say me. I lead the league in scoring, and I average 309 a game, and I'm 4-4. So,
oh well, I was gonna point out the point against. So for example, Isaac's been scored 2390 has been scored against him. Colby, it's only 2101, so it's literally almost 300 points less than some other owners in the league. And his efficiencies, I mean, it's 87, it's solid, but it's not as high as some of the other guys that we see in the league either. So, I mean, Hunter's at 91.9% efficiency. Michael's at 90% efficiency. So the numbers right now don't support a 7-1 record. So do you think we're going to see some regression over the last quarter of the season or the last 4 games?
For sure. But I mean, the deal is though, here's the rest of his schedule. He's got Matt this week, then he's got Tyler, then he's got Cody, then he's got Storm.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say he at least goes 2-2 over the next 4 weeks, at least. And we're looking at least a 9-3 record, and not because, like I said, he's steamrolling over people. That's not what's happening. He's catching
by
guys in good weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he did beat the brakes off me, so I mean, I have to give him that. But besides that, he just squeaks by everybody else.
Here's another. Go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say he's only broken 300 twice the entire season. He's only broken 300 twice.
Yeah, that one was
the past 2 games. He hasn't even hit 280 between the past 2 weeks. He got 272 against Finkel's Einhorn, and then last week he got 256 against Jordan.
Here's another one. Our second seed in the conference, Daquan, currently at 6-2. He has scored. He has more points scored against him than he has scored, and he's 6-2. So if that's not the wonkiest stat you've ever seen, I don't know what is. And his metrics aren't bad, but he's been scored on more than he's scored, and he's still got 6 wins, which is unusual. Very, very unusual. 2-0 in the division, 4-2 in the conference, 2-0 outside the conference. Is this team for real?
Yeah, I don't know about all real.
I would say no. It's 100% a playoff team. You can't argue against it. In fact, when you look at his points for what he's averaging, he's leading his division by 10 points or more when you compare to Charles and Jordan. What he's scoring every week. So yes, he is a very competitive team. He's a team that could definitely make a run in the playoffs. Definitely will more than likely get into the playoffs. But a 2 seed,
it's overrated.
I don't know.
It's overrated.
Yeah, it seems a little fluffed when you compare it to some of the other 2 owners we're going to talk about here in a second. Their teams.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think this is a bad team. I think when you've had more points scored on you than you've scored, and you're still 6-2, some things may have fallen in your favor. This next team here, I think, is going to eventually pass Daquan. I think it's going to be as early as this week because they play each other and the metrics are better. And that's Hunter, currently sitting at the 3rd seed, 6-2. In case you guys are curious about how this is happening with the same record, it's the kind of the process now is overall record, head-to-head, division percentage, conference percentage, and then points for. So it's a little bit different than it was last year after that rule got passed in the offseason. So Isaac, you voted for the rule. What are you talking about? You voted for it. Now it's coming back.
I was drugged.
Now it's coming back to bite.
I was drugged
to bite Isaac in the season, and he's kind of against it at the moment. But that's kind of how we're.
Pat hacked my account.
That's kind of. Hold on.
If you want to crown them, then crown them.
That's how Isaac felt when we put together the projections for the Elite 12.
Really
But so the number 3 seed here, Hunter 6-2. Some very, very good metrics. We talked about efficiency, 91.9, almost 92%, 4-2 in the conference, 2-0 outside the conference, and he's averaging almost 300 points a game. He gets a huge game against Daquan this weekend that is going to potentially determine playoff seeding. And this is a team that I think at least I feel, is probably going to be able to push its way up into maybe that number 1 seed kind of conversation. Do you guys agree? Is this a team that you believe in?
Was that game of the week? Was that game of the week?
We can't ruin it. We can't.
Yeah, we can't say. Yeah, we
Okay.
can't. That's the next episode. Next episode.
Okay, I was just wondering because I was like, with how good this matchup is going to be with Daquan versus Hunter, how it was not game of the week. I've been gone, so I don't know what you guys have been doing without me.
Oh wait, hold on. Maybe I think I'm speaking. Hold on. I just want to double check something real quick. I think Hunter. No, sorry, that's not Hunter who gets Daquan. That's Mufali. I'm sorry. I'm speaking out of my butt right now.
Okay.
They'll get each other.
See, I was
they'll
about
get
to
each other
say,
eventually though, because they are in the same side. I think they're going to get each other again if they haven't already. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So who's this last guy?
The last guy. Oh wait, hold on. Before we move on, Daquan beat Hunter earlier in the season. That's why it is the way it is right now, not because they haven't played each other yet. So Daquan owns the head-to-head tiebreaker, if that makes sense. He beat him by about 30.
Who was Kobe's only loss to?
I do not remember. I have to go back week by week to look at it.
Hang on. I can tell you right now.
All right. Well, you go ahead and talk about Mando. Pat researches
Okay.
that.
So just to be clear, sorry, I was a little confused there. We've been working on playoff stuff by hand all evening because what is it, Pat?
Oh, I got it. He lost to Mando. Hashling Slashers 330 to 259.
Okay, so that could be a big game. Mondo's right now in the 4th seed, 5-3, 2 games behind Colby. So if they end up tying, that could be a big swing there. So Mondo 5-3. This is we've been pretty impressed with all season long. Thought he had a good chance in the offseason. Scoring more than Hunter, almost 300 points a game. His efficiency is a little bit low, but again, 4-2 in the conference, and a team that's got a 2-game lead over his division right now, over Finkel Einhorn, which we don't expect anything from, and then Mufali, who's having an unusually weak fantasy season. So, do we like Mondo?
Yeah, I mean, I really do like his team, and he's been putting up points, and that's what you kind of want to see with these borderline teams that not necessarily are the top 3. That at least, their record might not reflect, but given any game, they could still put up a high score, make it competitive, and possibly upset anybody.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, here's the deal: he's averaging 299 a game, but his efficiency is only 84.6%. So what that tells me is, sure, his lineup isn't the greatest week in, week out, but there's so much room to improve that really his average points for could be well over 300 if he got it right every week, or majority, a little bit more than he is now.
Yep. So, and then we got our wild card teams here. 5th seed's Cody, coming from the 5th seed, where I believe that's the same spot he's won his last 2 titles from, if I'm not mistaken, was from the 5th seed. So this is a team that has kind of been up and down, kind of drug themselves along all season, averaging 281 points a game. Efficiency, it's a little bit low in the 85s or so. It's a very across the board, when you look at the metrics, it's a very kind of average,
it speaks
kind
to
of
his
middle
record.
of the road team.
It speaks to his record.
Yeah, the record. Yeah, it's kind of middle of the road right now. Again, this is where he's come from albeit I think with a better record, but he's come from the 5th seed every year. If he gets into playoffs, he could be dangerous.
But the only thing that you can kind of see with him is his points for. He's not scoring as much as he's done in the past. So that's my only issue with him, is can he keep up with some of these high-powered teams if he makes the playoffs?
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say this, though. Here's the crazy thing. So we were talking about how Cody his points for is actually higher on average than Colby's. Here's the rest of his schedule, though. We talked about Colby has very favorable schedule the rest of the year. Cody's got Hunter, then he's got Storm, then he's got Colby, and then he's got you, Jameson.
That's
week
an easy
12.
dub.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah, for me, I'm just kidding.
Boom, roasted.
Worst case scenario, he goes 1-3 in my opinion. Best case scenario, I'm thinking maybe 2-2.
So you've got him finishing kind of
right. I mean, that's without
middle of the road there.
That's without me looking at bye weeks. That's without me looking at bye weeks. I mean, I'm sure maybe Colby's got like half his roster out of week 11, and same with Storm. I don't know. But that's just we're talking about when you look at points for and efficiency and all that stuff. I'm seeing like 1-3 or 2-2, which means at best he's 6-6. Sometimes 6-6 teams don't make the playoffs in this league, or he goes 5-7.
Yeah, you don't want to be 5-7. There's a lot of teams that are on the tail.
Unless you're Jade.
Unless you're in a bad division, you can win it with 5 wins. And then real quick here, Michael. Michael's kind of the equivalent of the Mike from the Elite 12. It's so up and down. Do you guys feel that way? Like some weeks, 350 points. Yes. Another week, 225 points. And an up and down and up and down. Conference 3-3, efficiency over 90%, which is pretty good. Actually averaging more points than Cody right now, barely. This feels like a very Mike team to me. 7-5, 6-6, way up, way down. Could beat anybody any week, but could also lose to anybody any week.
Yeah, he's definitely a true wild card, no pun intended. I mean, definitely Boom. Pun intended on that one.
Hold on. Let me see if I got anything.
Boom.
I don't know.
Come on, man.
Maybe that one.
You just randomly pressed a button, didn't you?
I just randomly pressed one. I don't have.
You panicked.
I panicked. I dropped the ball. I'll be honest there. Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah, Michael could definitely upset anybody or lose to anybody any week. So he's the definition of a wild card.
Okay.
And the rest of his schedule is Storm, me, Matt, and then Hunter.
That's a rough go.
It's kind of tough, but he's scoring enough points per game to be a serious threat to any of those teams,
if he makes
including myself.
Cool. Everyone else in the bubble, Matt and Charles, 4-4. And then literally everybody else in that conference, Jordan, Mufali, Finkel, and Storm, all at 3-5. They're within a game of the playoffs right now. So when I say on the bubble, literally everybody is only a game out right now or closer. So it's really anybody's go in the Shadows Conference. On to the Elite 12 here, guys. This is where we exist. First seed. This is shocking. Billy Powell, BP, is currently sitting in the first seed spot. And the reason for that is, again, division record and conference record. In fact, it's just conference record over 2 other owners here. So Billy Powell in the first seed. Pat, this is a team that you have publicly said for weeks that you don't believe in. Is that still the case?
Yeah. He's averaging 277.6 points per game. If his efficiency was higher, sure, he could be better. But it's not higher. It's at 81%. He's averaging less than you, Jameson. He's averaging 5 points more than Cameron.
Thanks in that, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're averaging less than your piece of crap team. Oh, my. No.
Well, I mean, like, you're trailing him, but you're averaging more than him. And then you look at Peyton, who only has 2 wins, is also averaging more than BP. I'm not saying BP can't beat it. He has potential to beat any given team in this week, any given week. But I just don't see him as a legitimate threat, and I could see either one of you winning your division, which means I could see either one of you missing the playoffs entirely.
Yeah, that's fair. Any thoughts, Isaac?
No, just imagine if he would have kept Dalvin Cook, how good his team would be.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you stole him out of our division.
Exactly, yeah.
I appreciate that. That might get me in the playoffs, honestly. Like, that might get me there. Billy Powell, number 1 right now. We'll see what happens as we move through the season. Another Billy here at number 2, Billy Ray, owns a tiebreaker over Patrick in the head-to-head. 5-3. He's lost 3 straight though, so I don't know if that's cause for panic or what the situation is. But
these bye weeks are really taking a toll on him. He needs to find a way to stop his ship from sinking.
Yep. Why did you emphasize ship so much?
I didn't want to say shit.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say something
his shit from sinking. No shit.
I had to think like, is there some sort of like pirate pun in his name or something? Like, why is he? Oh, you just didn't want to. Okay, you just wanted to enunciate. So that's clear.
Ship.
So Billy Ray 5-3 lost there. Yeah, I think you're right. Billy had Zeke and Cooper on the bye week last week, and I think he's got Gurley on the bye week this week. Pat, are you concerned about Billy being so close to him in overall record?
Yeah. 100%. I mean, he's got Jay this week. I don't want to give too much away, but I think you can all get an idea of what we think about how this game's going to go down. This should be a get-right game for Billy. Then he's got Peyton. Then he's got Cameron, and then he's got Daquan. Now he's averaging he's averaging basically 20 points per game more than all of those teams or more. So, yeah, I think Billy could go on a serious run here at the end of the year. Although, sure, Cameron and Peyton could just as easily upset him. And Daquan. Daquan could too, but definitely not Jade.
Just like Cameron, I mean, he averages almost 300 points less total in points for than I do, and he beat me. So, I mean, it could happen. But to say it would happen, I mean, Jade's...
Do you say he averages 300 points less than you?
In points for? Yeah, dude, 2,469. He has...
Total.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought. Sorry.
Total.
Yeah, total. Yep. I thought you meant like per week. I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Another 5.
I do 600 a week.
yeah. If that was the case, you would absolutely be unquestioned. We would just give you the title if you were averaging 600 points a week. No need to even play the playoffs.
Yeah, we wouldn't even.
Billy, 89% efficiency though, so he is one of the highest in the league or in the conference in that regard. So we'll see what he can do this week against Jade, and then moving forward. Pat, 5-3. You're currently in the 3rd seed. If the playoffs were to start today, you have you got your first win last week after dropping a couple in a row. I'm sure that felt good. And I know in the other league that we play in, you had a couple,
I haven't won a single fantasy game in any league at all in the past 4 weeks.
Oh
man! This weekend, I won both leagues this week. Thank God.
That's rough.
So
screw you. He beat me for the ones that you don't know.
I swept Isaac this year
for the first time ever.
First time ever. Yep.
Pat, 88.3% efficiency, the highest in your division. Even though you are the lowest, or you're the second lowest scoring team in your division, you're above your dad, but below Isaac. I mean, there's not a lot metric-wise that sets you apart from your dad and Isaac right now, really. I mean, if you guys pull nothing at all, really. I mean, your dad's slightly lower across the board, but I mean, it's pretty close between all three of you, as we expected.
And the crappy thing is if you look at the metrics of the points against, how far I'm ahead of Patrick. I got 200 more points against than he does.
Patrick does, yeah. And Pat's being scored, his average score against Pat, 274. Average score against Isaac, 298.8. So it's quite a big gap, 24 points. That's quite a big gap there. That probably helps explain some of it. Pat, you're definitely competing with Billy and I guess both Billys, for the rest of the season. But you do get Billy Powell this week, I think, right? As we alluded to.
Yeah. Yep. I got BP this week. Then I got Michael. Then I got Isaac. Then I got my dad. So it's gonna be
a big game. A big game for seeding, though.
Hopefully your ass slides 4 more losses.
Nah, you need to beat Billy Powell, man. You need to beat Billy Powell for me. So I'm cheering for you. Mike at the 4 seed. It's kind of like the usual thing for him. Just kind of sits there right in the 4 seed. Is going to surprise somebody in the playoffs, maybe. Hopefully not me. 4-4.
It's only because of his division.
It honestly is. Points right for barely over 2,000, 261 a game, averaging 283 against him. He's had a lot more points scored against him, and he's still middle of the road there. 3-3 in the conference, 1-1 non-conference, 80% efficiency, which is incredibly low. One of the lowest in the league. So I think even though we expect this team to make the playoffs at the 4 seed, we don't expect much to happen in the playoffs. I don't think. Right? I mean, I'm not alone here, am I?
Unless
he plays me
you again.
Unless he plays me in the wild card round, then we don't expect much from Mike in the playoffs. So, and
his team's not built for the long haul.
It's not. I don't think it is. It really, really isn't.
Especially with him trading away Tyreek Hill for Derrick Henry, like you just shot yourself in the foot, and your chances are out the window.
That's like someone offering you.
Unless
that's like someone offering you a dragster, and you're like, nah, I'll take my Toyota Camry with the flat tire. Like, no thanks. Like, I don't need a car that actually works. I'll take Derrick Henry. You guys know how I feel about Derrick Henry, so.
Yeah, he beat you last year.
Yeah.
Who, Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
He didn't beat me. I didn't play against Derrick Henry in the playoff.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I got lucky.
Because everybody knows that Derrick Henry exploded onto the scene at the playoffs last year, and really, him and Amari is the only reason Billy got as far as he did. But
I thought Derrick Henry was on the bench when he exploded, though. Like 80-point game, wasn't he on everyone's bench that week?
He
against the
was,
Jaguars?
but the weeks after that, he still was hot.
Yeah, he was solid. We'll wrap it up real quick here. 5th seed John, no surprise, 5-3, right there with you guys. We talked about his metrics being a slightly lower, although not bad. Still averaging over 300 points a game. Efficiency is 83%, but he is 2-0 outside the conference. So, guys, I think this is a team that we've seen some ups and downs, but a team that can absolutely be reckoned with once he gets to the playoffs.
Yeah, he's a team that I'm not looking forward to playing again. But we're in the same division, so we have to play each other twice. So hopefully, I won't have to meet him in the playoffs as well.
Yeah,
if I make it.
Definitely a team I'm not looking for. I mean, his efficiency's 83%, and he's still averaging over 300 points a game. That's kind of alarming for me. I mean, that's very scary to imagine having to compete against that.
Yep. And then finally here, it's currently myself. I own the tiebreaker over Isaac because of my division and conference record. Although that could change very easily if I lose to John this week, who I'm playing, and Isaac beats Tyler, which he should absolutely do. So this could change very quickly. I am the definition of mediocrity right now. I looked at all of my metrics today. I'm 1-1 in the division, 4-2 in the conference, 83% efficiency, 4-4 record. And guys, if you take my points and you put them across every game, you're like overall your all play record. I'm 91, 91, and 2. So I'm exactly 500 in my all play record. I'm exactly in the middle of the power rank. I am the definition of mediocrity right now. Just kind of there, right in the middle. So
your favorite word, meh.
Yeah.
This game is very critical for you because let's say you lose, so you drop to 4-5, meaning you really can't afford to lose any more games after that.
No.
And after that, you've got BP week 10, then you got Tyler week 11, then you got Cody week 12. Now week 11 is a guaranteed W. Week 12 and week 10, that's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, week 10 is critical. If I beat Billy Powell in that game, that could be for the division right there. And if I beat John, it really kind of helps my chances to at least maybe move up in the seeds, even if I don't win the division. But you're right; it's going to be tough.
At least you don't have to worry about Tyler.
No, that should be a dub.
Yeah.
Although we've seen what happens with my team.
But if I beat him and you beat him, I mean he's done.
Oh, he's done. Yeah, I'm not concerned that he's going to get out of the playoffs. I'm just concerned he could play spoiler to somebody at some point,
Hopefully it's not you.
Hopefully not me. Hopefully he doesn't play spoiler to me.
You want to know Tyler's schedule real quick? Last four games. Yeah. He's got Isaac, then he's got Colby, then he's got you, then he's got BP. I could see him going 0-4, no joke.
Yep. All right, guys. On the bubble, Isaac 4-4. You're right there. Literally, it's just almost a tie for the 6th seed. And then Cameron and Tyler at 3-5. They're both right there. They're just a game back. I'm not going to mention all the guys who are 2-6. It's kind of too far back that I don't think it's really going to matter a whole lot at this point. And we're kind of out of time here, so we'll kind of skip those for the sake of the playoff projections. Real quick before we hop off, the bowl game projections. This year it's one. I still need to get a sound drop for that. It's one team in the Elite 12, one team in the Top Shotas, and for the Visa Card Bowl, it's currently Isaac against Matt. Both teams at 4-4. In the Pizza Hut Bowl, it's Cameron against Charles. Charles at 4-4 just broke the all-time scoring record, 414 points.
Mr. 400, congratulations.
Mr. 400. And for Julio or anyone who's listening outside of our league, I sat down and did the math today. Averaged a bunch of players, our scoring system relative to our other league scoring system. It's equivalent to about 181 in our other scoring system was what Charles did last night. So that was a pretty big deal. Cameron's got to face him, would have to face him in the Pizza Hut Bowl if it ended today, and I think faces him in the regular season in a few weeks. And then the McDonald's Bowl, Tyler right there, 3-5 with Mufali at 3-5, competing for a McDonald's gift card for lunch. So
or dinner,
currently,
or breakfast,
or dinner, or dinner. You know, so right
breakfast,
McGriddle,
yeah, all day breakfast.
So this will definitely change the next couple of weeks, but it's always fun to see this ahead of time and kind of get a feel for where you stand, what needs to happen for you to get in, or what could happen for you to fall out. So we'll continue updating these as we go and posting them in the articles, I imagine, if we don't talk about them here on the show. So, guys, anything before we hop off?
Make sure you put in your Kenyon Drake waivers.
Oh,
yep, yeah, there you go.
No, on a serious note, no joke. League proposals are going to start next Tuesday. So make sure if you got anything, go ahead and start thinking about it. You do have until week 12 of Tuesday to get all this put in before we put them in a poll and start voting. But just keep that in mind. It's coming early this year, so just make sure you're ready.
All right, cool. Glad we are out. We will see you on the next episode, and good luck in week 9. Goodbye.